1692 means we got shots fired at 4:15 a.m.
And Bill Whitaker is with me now. Bill, good to see you.
Good to see you, Vlad.
So, what surprised these officers the most when they walked into Stephen Paddock's room?
The amount of weaponry. One officer described it as a gun store, or guns everywhere. Ammunition clips everywhere. The ammunition clips, they said, just surprisingly, were just stacked up as though they were in a store. Another described it as a bunker. He was really set up for the long haul. He had monitors up. He had cameras set up at the door so he would be able to see them coming down the hallway, and had monitors inside so he could see down the hallway. This was very, very, very meticulously planned out.
There was also a coordinated effort. I mean, that security guard who the Las Vegas Police Department called a hero, he was shot in the leg after Paddock fired some 200 rounds at the door. But were they worried that the room was booby-trapped?
Oh, yes. Yes. When they first came out onto the 32nd floor, what they saw was a food tray outside the door, and they saw wires going under the food tray. It turned out that this was for his camera system, for his surveillance system, but at the time they had no idea. They saw the door that was, one guy described it as looking like Swiss cheese from the 200 rounds that Paddock had shot out at the security guard. So they had no idea what they were getting into. And there were radio reports coming out, be careful, this place could be booby-trapped. So they had no idea what they were walking into, and yet they did it. They walked into harm's way. We had one officer say, it would be better that he fire at us and turn his firing away from the people down below. So they were willing to go and face that so that they could take the bullet instead of the innocent people down on the fairground.
And, you know, all week long, you and I were both in Las Vegas. We've been mourning and honoring the lives that were lost, 58 lives lost in this incident. But it could have been much worse. When this story first broke, I was immediately reminded of the attacks in Mumbai. There have been other attacks, even just as recently as earlier this year or late last year in Mali, at hotels, where hotels have come under fire from people with a lot of weapons, and the loss of life has, in some cases, been staggering. Here, did the officers have training to deal with a situation like this? Did they at all look back to some of the other incidents that happened around the world?
Well, Sheriff Lombardo told us that before Mumbai, was I think 2008, that the approach would be to cordon off the area, set up a perimeter.
While the killers or killer was still inside.
Keep people outside and sort of hold this person, this shooter, at bay as best you could. After Mumbai, they realized that the best approach is to just go in and get this guy and stop him. So that has been a centerpiece of training in Las Vegas ever since. These guys who came together were not a team. They were not a unit.
Because there was canine officers, security guards,
gang detectives,
right.
One SWAT officer who happened to be there, but they came from different units, never worked together like this. They came together and formed a unit on the spot. They figured out a plan, an approach. How would we do this in the stairwell as they're approaching the 32nd floor? I mean, this was really ad hoc and on the spot, and they pulled this off.
It's an incredible story, and kudos to you and your team who were able to get these police officers, Sheriff Lombardo, to talk to us because it is fascinating. We didn't really have all this information that ultimately your report for 60 Minutes brought to light. So, Bill Whitaker, thank you very much.
Thank you.